bringing up Chris Boswell to do the honors. And away we go, Maurice Rutherford. On the return, here comes Kene Wangu. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. So the Jets take the field for their first drive. And bringing them out an electrifying runner and a former first-round pick back in 2021, Justin Fields.
While his 4-2 record wasn't good enough to keep the starting job in Pittsburgh over Russell Wilson, that performance was enough to show the rest of the NFL there's still potential in him to go lead a franchise.
All right, let's get this show on the road. It is 1st and 10. Play action now. It's Fields. For this one on the defense.
Pass interference. Defense.
We got too aggressive to try and stop that play, and they tag him for
Automatic
pass
first
interference. So their offense out now to get this game started. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, it's on. Nice start to our game. He's on the first play, maybe the second down.
Well, I did see a lot that they were looking for there, Kate. It leads to some shuffling around here in the playbook. Aggressive call on second.
44-yard line.
Need a better result than that last run. It's 2nd and 8. Out of the shotgun, Fields. Pressure's there. The steal closes on him. Now we'll get a stoppage for an injured player as they're headed out to check on an injured Steeler. Gotta figure out this 3rd down here. Shotgun snap to Fields. Getting out to his left. And they are all the way to that red zone.
As long as these are the results he's getting, they're going to be just fine with his own zone. He does such a good job seeing the field and knowing when it's his time to take it himself.
1st and 10 at the 18-yard line.
Thinking touchdown here after that big play. We've got 1st and 10 from the red zone. They motion the tight end over. First down throw for Fields. And the Steelers get home. And the big play drives them backwards. 2nd down coming up.
You know what I call that, Kate? Punch? You took a punch, but then you countered right back. You give up a big play, massive play, but you don't hang your head. You come right back, you get a sack of your own, and you change the momentum as quickly as you can.
Offense to the line for 2nd down. Another try following the sack. Tucks in and takes off. And he gets back to the line, but no more.
I think all quarterbacks have been there before. You start scrambling, you're hoping for something to materialize, and nothing does. You just try to get back to the line, live to play another day, and more importantly, avoid a loss.
4 guys out wide. Here we go, 3rd and long. Fields out of the gun. Oh, again, it looks like a pick, but they drop it. A chance to steal it away in the end zone. Just can't finish the play.
And that's a risk of putting up a jump ball in the end zone. You know, some of these defenders in this day and age can go up and get it with the best of the receivers. That's one they got away with. Should have been a pick and, frankly, a touchback.
The kick by Folk is good. And the opening drive, the game ends in 3 points.
Makes the score Jets
Not quite the same roar out of the crowd Okay, that you're going to get with a touchdown, but still plenty of noise coming down, and that defense now gets to take the field with the lead.
It's all lined up. Full, ready to send this one flying. Kenneth Gainwell now return. And this drive will start inside the 25. Here are the Steelers now, taking over for the first time. And they're brought out by the league's elder statesman. Drafted back in 2005, now in his 40s and still going strong. Aaron Rodgers.
Well, love him or hate him, Rodgers not ready to leave the league until he's satisfied with how his final chapter reads. He didn't get the storybook ending he wanted last year. Taking another run at channeling all that doubt into success one final time.
Now running for the first time with Jalen Warren. And that one's forward for 182 yards. That was Jermaine Johnson there to make the play.
That's the kind of yardage that's not going to kill this drive on the first play. But it does put you a little bit behind schedule. Now second down becomes critical because nobody wants a 3 and out.
Following that little 2-yard run, it's 2nd and 8. Motioning the tight end now. From the 25 on 2nd down. See the quick hitter. And they are going to have to face a 3rd down here, but only need a yard at most as this play picks up 7.
Quarterbacks will look for their tight end short in just about any situation. They take away the deeper options. Well, there's their consistent source of positive yardage, the trusty tight end.
All right, looks like they're going to try to power this across. Goal line formation on 3rd and inches. He's sneaking with Rodgers. And that'll be enough for the first as they touch him down.
2 yards on the play. And a Steeler first down.
That's more than a must-get for a quarterback. I really put that in the always-get territory. Even if the defense knows what's coming, you got to be able to drive forward for at least a couple inches.
Gets it downfield on target to Metcalf. And this one breaks the red zone. He takes it down to the 17.
DK Metcalf. A gain of 47 yards. First down, Steelers.
Now, right there, that's what you want to see on your opening drive. Boom, connect on a big shot, and instantly you set a tone that you're not going to be afraid to be aggressive in this game today. Boy, do I love that.
Warren here from the gun. Not the way to begin a new set of downs, Brock, if they drop a line.
This is one of those situations, Kate, where I watch the body language of the running back because it'd be very easy for him to raise his hands up, look to the sideline and his O-line and go, what am I supposed to do there? There was nothing, no time at all to try and escape and react. Instead, it goes backwards.
Rodgers here from the gun. Finds the football inside. This play reaches the 12-yard line before the stop is made.
Sometimes when you're just looking to get some small yards on the throw, quarterback's best friend, security blanket. And when it's a big old tight end, that's an extra bonus.
3rd down and 4 now. This is the 7th play in this drive. From the shotgun, Rodgers. The throw is caught. He stopped after a gain of about 5. That's going to set him up with 1st and goal.
To Pat Fryermuth. 1st and goal, Pittsburgh.
You know, Kate, they say a dog is a man's best friend. But a tight end that moves the chains on 3rd down, that's a QB's best friend.
First and goal, Warren. And he gets it here. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Touchdown,
The
Pittsburgh.
Steelers pull ahead 6-3 in the first. Now, this coaching staff has got to be a happy partner. A calm and calculated opening drive. Really impressed with the score, how they controlled the football, and they played at their own pace.
Yeah, it's one of those drives that just pays dividends. I know it's the opening drive, but you're just taking some of the starch out of that defense and putting some doubt in their mind. Like, man, they just methodically shoved it right down our throat.
Chris Boswell for the point after. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Steelers want the opposing field goal. They start with 7 on their opening drive. Xavier Gibson now to return. He's brought down just inside the 25. The second drive coming up now for the Jets offense. And the last drive did end in points. Not as many as they wanted, though. They had to settle for that field goal despite advancing the football pretty well. First call here coming from the shotgun.
I know from the position of the quarterback, sometimes you hand that ball, put it in the belly of the running back, and you send it right into the teeth of a buzzsaw. You can feel it from the jump, and that call from the defense, well, it came at the perfect time.
All right, here we go. Second down. Field throwing here.
They came in before he could find a target, hit him, altered that last-second attempt to get rid of it.
No connection on the last play, and now it's third down. Fields looking to throw. It's his running back. And he's going to be brought down up the 28-yard line.
Those little short throws, they are high percentage and certainly bread and butter. But they really run the risk of a quick tackle just like that and being stopped short of the sticks.
Now on fourth down, here's Austin McNamara out to punt for the Jets. Calvin Austin on the return for the Steelers. Takes this in at the 25. And he gets his guys a few yards before they bring him down on the return. Here comes the Pittsburgh offense for their second drive of the game. They really have the passing game clicking on that last touchdown drive, partner. We'll see if they stick with that or if they mix things up a bit on this series. Here's 1st and 10 from the 34. Off play action, Rodgers. Short pass caught by his tight end. Small gain up to the 38. Tim Williams making the tackle.
We saw his guys pick up the hits. We felt them pick it up in the way everyone looking at it. But with their effort on his behalf, I think this QB felt owed to them. And the group up front to find somebody to get a completion, so that effort up front wasn't in vain.
2nd and 6 now. He connects down the sideline. That gains 15 and it moves the sticks.
If they get a handful of these types of plays per game, pass game coordinator's going to be one happy camper.
New set of downs for him from the 46. First down, Rodgers. And can't prevent the catch, Brock. At least prevent a gain after it, right? So they make the quick stop at the 31.
A gain of 15.
Even 15 15 yards on the
First
pickup
down,
there.
Steelers.
And that's a Steelers first down.
You know, Kate, you'll find teams go to this crossing route concept sometimes a dozen times a game. A lot of times it's for shorter yardage. Sometimes things break in the right coverage for a much bigger impact play, just like that.
Warren running between the tackle. They get to him, doing what is downfield from that line of scrimmage.
Taken down at the 19-yard line. A gain of 11 on the play. And the Steeler first down.
Now, don't think for a second they're going to slow down the tempo. Defense on their heels. And right now is the best chance to go push that envelope and get aggressive.
First down, and they go right back to it. That play is brought to a halt, so they're going to stay at the 5-yard line. That's a gain of 13, and it sets them up with first and goal.
Some backs are easier to tackle than others. Some, well, they just choose violence. They look for those opportunities to bust through tackles and keep those legs pumping.
They'll break the huddle and come up on first and goal. Does he get inside of Gainwell? Oh, yes, he can't even get past the line of scrimmage. No challenge for the end zone here.
Taken down right at
Pretty easy for me to play armchair quarterback up here and say I just don't like that call on first and 5. Especially when you get nothing from it. Man, that one stinks.
Second and goal coming up, 5 yards to the end zone. Now looking to throw with Rodgers. And he's going to go down. Just about the perfect touch. And they're heading in reverse after that.
Ben,
It's third
even
down
good defense,
and
great
goal.
defenses in this league, Kate, they're going to bend at times, but you never want to break. And when you get a sack in the red zone, that goes a long ways to helping your efforts.
Zach sets up a tough third and goal. They're at the 12. Looking out of the gun, it's Rodgers. And they're able to touch him down. So that's going to bring up fourth down.
Clear to
Yeah, these in cuts maybe aren't the hardest throws from a degree of difficulty, Kate. It does take some courage as a quarterback to throw into congested spaces, but it can pay big dividends.
Here we go, fourth and goal inside the 1. Go for it, Rodgers. And the Jets recover it.
That is such a gut punch as a quarterback. You can put in so much work to get down near the goal line. And then you've got to take care of the football. You can't be reckless with the ball. Those defenders are looking to knock it free, and that's exactly what they did. Keeping points off the board.
Now here comes the New York offense. They were only on the field for 3 plays their prior series, Brock. Let's see what changes they make to take over here. On first and 10, it's Fields. Short pass brought in. He hauls this one up to the 11 before being stopped.
That's what you call efficiency.
A 6-yard
Exactly what you're
pickup
looking for in
brings
first
up
down.
second and 4.
Textbook. It
At
sets
the
up second
11-yard
and very
line.
manageable, and it creates that space if you want to take a shot downfield.
After a good pickup, they've got second and 4. Gives a haul now on the option. It's a 4 to serve on yard there. Brought to an end by Jalen Ramsey.
Tackle made at the
Okay,
12-yard
that's a run
line.
that's ho-hum on the stat
gain of
sheet.
a yard.
If you see a bigger
Brings
play
up
on the ground
third
later
and
on,
3.
largely be because of a play just like that one, softening up the front and opening the door for a bigger gap in the future.
Fields now on third. It's caught by Wilson. And he's going to get this up to the 26 before being taken down. So while they're in the huddle, partner, we've arrived at the end of our first quarter. The Steelers have played to an early lead. More from MetLife, coming right up. Time for the second quarter of play. It's Jets football. They're looking at first down here. Back to throw. Here's Fields. Oh, look at this. Here he goes.
He made something out of that play for them. Everyone's so concerned with defending the pass. He didn't want to keep tabs on what he was doing as a QB. And gave him just enough room to run.
Second and 3 now. Off the play fake. It's Fields. Ball's out of the pocket quick. Taking off with it again.
Just
Gain 7. And they give the Jets a first down.
the Jets. First down. First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
You know, before the snap, right before the snap, you may have to take off if the read isn't there. That was a great adjustment made at the perfect time for the first down.
Play action, Fields. That'll be incomplete to start the new set of downs. So that play doesn't work out, but things make it even worse for them. Looks like one of their big guys out front is in need of a look from the training staff. So after the incompletion, here comes the second down call. Out of the shotgun, Fields. It's caught and finds Alonzo. He pushes this down to the 42 before going down.
A gain of
The big
17
play nets him
yards.
17 yards.
That's good.
And it's
for
good enough for a
another
New York
Jets.
first down.
First and 10 at the 42-yard line.
They've run this 12-yard out route game at the combine, well, all the way back to last century when I had to throw it. In this throw, this is a big boy throw. It's a differentiator. Can you make that deep out throw on time, on rhythm, and accurately? Well, that was teacher tape right there.
And this one's brought to you well downfield from that line of scrimmage.
Obviously, the defense wants to take away all the leads and prevent any kind of big throw for the first down. Well, this QB will just lower his head and catch the defense. They're one of the biggest runs of the game.
4 downs now to get in. Here's first and goal. Hold on here, it's Hall. And there's the start. Could be a goal line stand. Taking him for a loss on first and goal.
That's got to be so frustrating for him. You're fighting the good fight. You even rip through and tackle to stay afloat. Blocking can't buy you enough time or room to even get back to the line of scrimmage.
Going the wrong way. It's second and goal now, back at the 12. Shotgun snap to Fields. And they take this in for the score. The Jets capitalize on that turn and take the lead. It's a Justin Fields touchdown.
Okay, you got to be aware defensively. At this point, this guy's going to run if he sees daylight. I think there was an awareness factor. Mitch couldn't stop him. He has just been that kind of X factor with his legs.
Nick Folk now for the extra point. The point after splits the upright. And the Jets push their lead to 3.
Steelers 7.
This will give them some decent field position here, Carson. This gets out to the 30. The Steelers and wide receiver DK Metcalf set for another drive. And they have made it no secret that they want to go his way in this game, right? And the results so far, I'd say very promising. Offense into the shotgun set as they line this up. 1st and 10. They'll start with Brad here with Warren. He'll be stopped after just about a yard. 2nd and 9 coming up.
This offense is left some ground to make up a little bit here on 2nd down. After that drive starts,
Brings up
very
2nd
minimal
and
gain.
9.
They'll come to the line here. 2nd and 9. Counter play here, Warren. Excellent play defensively as they get to him behind the line. It's going to bring a 3rd down.
Will
This is one of those
McDonald
plays that I
tackle.
wish we had the huddle mic'd up, King, because I can assure you that offensive line in their own way is telling that running back, sorry, we did not give you any chance.
And the Jets in the dime for this 3rd down. Now here's Rogers. He's got some air under this one, deep down the middle. And his perfect start is over. And that's the first one of his throws to wind up incomplete.
You know, I say this all the time when we get down there to the red zone. When things happen so fast, those windows close in a hurry. Quarterback's fortunate that was one hand and not two hands that got on the football.
On 4th down, it's Corliss Waitman on for the Steelers to pump this away. Begins his return at the 16. And before that return amounts to much, they bring him down. The Jets are heading back out there now, led by Justin Fields. And I know we're normally discussing his work leading in passing game, but wow, we've really had to take note of what he's done on the ground. He's leaned into that part of his game early. Jets getting ready for this 1st and 10. They'll start this one out with Hall. That's an 8-yard chunk to start this one. Brings up 2nd and 2.
It just gives you 10 seconds to do whatever you want to do. As for me, I like to reward that run. Give it to him again and see if he can get you a new set of downs.
After that little 8-yard scoot, here comes 2nd and 2. On the keeper, here's Fields. He's down with it. He'll get this up to the 41. It's 7 yards on the play, and that's enough for the 1st down.
The difference right there, Kate, between that gain and a big hit for a loss, really quick decision making. He made a quick read, saw the running back was going to get hit if he handed it, and he pulls it himself for a positive gain.
On 1st down, here comes Hall. And it's a nice little chunk here, 6 yards. Tackled by Chuck Clark.
This is a guy who, man, when he is in it, when he is feeling it, you're just not going to bring him down with an arm tackle. You better buckle up. You need a textbook tackle on this guy. Wrap, grab some cloth, and drive him to the ground with all you got.
2nd and 4. Did not like what he was seeing, Brock, and he just hurls this one away.
Intended for Mason Taylor. Incomplete. He was defended by Brandon Engel.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got 3rd down. Fields out of the gun. Oh, man, this is Reynolds. And they'll get him down after he gets it to the 48. Pick up a 5 on that play. And it'll give the Jets a 1st down.
1st down.
Nice to see that connection, that chemistry working between the two of them.
1st and 10, ball set up at the 48. Shotgun snap, but it's all. Can't slip that initial tackle. Shots made for no gain on that 1st down play.
is concerned, it's always humbling when you try force versus force and the defense wins out.
First down run netted him nothing. Here is 2nd and 10. They go right back to him. What we're trying to do there is not going to work. Defenders all over it, so they take him down for a loss.
He's taken down behind the line
I know
of
they say
scrimmage.
it any time he comes up in an interview, but they appreciate having him on this defense so much, Kate, because of plays like that one. Those are great instincts. It takes instincts and want to come up and run support, and not many corners can make that stop.
It's on 3rd. He has the first over the middle. He does it. Touchdown, New York. The Jets make it a 9-point advantage. Garrett Wilson with the touchdown. Even with it being possibly the most popular route for teams to go to, sometimes you get it on the slants, you find yourself in the gap to turn it into much more, including what we just saw, 6 points.
All this time on task between you and I together, why do you think it's the most popular route?
Easy for the QB?
Yeah, I mean, short distance, easy for the QB,
Yeah.
and it's also great versus man or zone. There really is not a defense that you can employ out there when you execute it right and you execute it on time, that big plays, and sometimes like this, touchdowns will follow.
Point after by Folk is up and gone. And the Jets make it a 10-point ball game.
17. Steelers 7.
It's all lined up. Folk ready to send this one flying. On return, here's Gainwell. This makes it up to the 25.
The Steelers take over first
Now
and
the
10.
offense getting set to go for the Steelers.
25-yard
That score made it 17-7, but they can cut it back to a one-score game here. Pittsburgh offense to the line. Here's 1st and 10. Rodgers willing to throw. Taking the deep shot there on 1st down. Okay, no luck connected. It's incomplete.
Incomplete.
There's the importance of staying in phase as a defender. He was all over him in coverage, and that really did help force the incompletion.
Couldn't connect on 1st. It's 2nd down. Rodgers here from the gun. Roman Wilson reels it in. It almost has it caught him. He does well to hold on to it. Gets him to the 37.
A gain of 11 on the
It's a
play.
pickup of 11.
First down,
And they'll bring up a Pittsburgh 1st down.
I may love watching a great thrower, but I love watching a well-done route too, Kate. Make that guy think you're trying to stack him only to drop your hips and cut right inside. Some good work to help reset those chains.
We had it for a moment, but a great defensive play. Jarvis Williams incomplete. Well-timed strike by that defender to knock it free. And now they face 2nd down. Working across the middle, Brock, it is tough for anybody to make plays through all that mess, even when you're the biggest and baddest pass catcher on the roster.
But as a tight end, you're going to be disappointed because that's what you're paid to do. It's one thing for those undersized receivers you talked about. It's another one for these big tight ends. You are paid to make that pass through contact. You couldn't do that.
Tough one to attain through that hit. So they're left facing 3rd and long. Went way outside there, trying to work that sideline wrong. But by the time the ball arrived, well, the defender had to knock that ball out.
I think you see my reaction in the booth every time
I do.
we see that throw because I close my eyes and remember the terror that I felt as a quarterback. When you let that ball go and you're throwing it all the way to the boundary, there's some risk reward. And that time, there was you know, I like the completion. You never turn down a completion. That's just not the right throw to make in that spot to move the chains.
Corliss Waitman on the punt. And he wants to hit his 2nd effort just as well as he hit his 1st. The Jets and receiver Garrett Wilson back out to take possession. They'll try to emphasize what worked on their last drive, which ended Brock in a touchdown. New York to the line, 1st and 10. Play action now, it's Fields. Big play drives them backwards, 2nd down, coming up.
Second down.
Hey, I understand that call. You try to get play action to get away from the rush. The problem is this defense has just been relentless.
Everyone's prepped, it's 2nd down now. Trying again, following the center. And all around tough play for him. Took a shot on the release and it definitely affected the throw. It's incomplete.
Hate to be Mr. Negative guy, but a sack 2 plays ago, an incompletion right there. All that's missing, Kate, is an interception on this play. And you're going to hand this quarterback a misfortune trifecta that nobody wants.
Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. Now Fields. And they're going to be stuck with a 4th and long.
You never ever, as an offense, like 3 and outs, Kate, but you really don't like them on 3rd down when you throw into tight coverage like that. Got to manufacture a better look.
He's brought down before the return gets far. Now Pittsburgh's offense running back out for a new series. They struggled to produce on that last series, but better results ahead as they take possession here. The Steelers with some very good field position as they get set, 1st and 10. From the shotgun, Rodgers. It's money in route. And that's good yardage there with a new set of downs to boot.
I know the combine tries to test everything it possibly can physically, but I don't know how you test courage at the combine because there's nobody defending you. Nobody wants to hit you. That was the epitome of courage to make that in cut and make the catch.
1st and 10, ball set up at the 48. Rodgers here on the play action. Connects on the crosser. And he's going to be brought down. Looks like at that 37-yard line. The end result there, 15 yards and a first.
Part of the reason I leave you pregame, Kate, and get down to that field and watch these guys throw and catch is I want to see their timing. I want to see their anticipation. That is picture perfect right there. A crossing route thrown that quickly tells me these two are on the same page.
And that is exactly what you're looking for on the 1st down run. He picked up 7.
It doesn't matter first down. You get yards like that in the run game, you will take it in the NFL.
Nice run last play. Sets up 2nd and 2. From the 29. He got it. So it's the 2-minute warning here from MetLife. And it's the Steelers looking at 1st and 10. From the red zone now. It's complete to the sideline. Not a ton of room, but he does get the feet down.
I know I can sound like a broken record when I talk about timing, getting the ball out on time and on rhythm. These outcuts, it is so imperative. When the best of them make it look oh so easy.
After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. Looking at it again, it's Rodgers. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. Tough to blame him for that drop, Brock. touchdown. That was a great effort defensively, timing that hit, keeping them from hitting the end zone.
Reaction and burst. You get in the red zone defensively, you'll hear it all the time. You cannot wait. You've got to react, and then you got to burst. And that defender does a tremendous job of breaking that pass up with contact.
Now Rodgers on 3rd and short. And he's going to go down. Jets brought the pressure and got to it. The Jets take their first time out. As they'll get together and discuss with 4th down coming up. Here comes Chris Boswell, the Steelers field goal unit. This only a chip shot from the right hash. Boswell able to knock it through. And that'll bring it back to within a score. The lead 7.
In that close, kicks have to be automatic. That won't stop the head coach, though, from holding his breath for seconds until he sees it's up and good.
Just like that, we're back to a one-possession ball game as the kickoff is away. Gibson now to return. Jukes one defender. He's brought down what looks like the 24-yard line. The Jets have their offense ready to go again. They seem like they carry the lead into the locker room, but some points here to end the half could make things even more comfortable. New York offense ready to get going here. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, it's on. Man, nothing from the ground block. It was all game. This one's quickly locked up too.
It's just about textbook defense and how to shut down the field. That coverage was tight, the numbers were up, and the bodies were there to stuff that run before it could get going.
They'll come to the line here, 2nd and 9. Field throwing here. Has him on a quick hitter. And he's going to be out of bounds just before reaching the 30.
Garrett Wilson. That's a gain of 4. Brings up 3rd and 5.
Here they come. This is 3rd and 5. Here's Fields to throw. Tipped in the air, and it's intercepted. Also has it. And the Steelers take a throw to football just outside the 30.
We see this defensive mantra across all over defensive units. Tips and overthrows, you got to have those. And that's exactly what the defense did as they rallied for that interception.
It's a new set of downs for him at the 32. Trying to get outside here with Warren. And they blow up the opening play this drive. The aggressiveness from this defense.
That's a pretty good look right there at the struggle offensive lineman had. Athletically, they're just not as fast as these linebackers. And if they don't win early, those linebackers outrun them, they can play like that behind the line.
Back to the line they go. It's 2nd down. Rodgers to throw. Hits him on the out route. And they drop him right after that catch. He's down at the 22-yard line.
A gain of
The
12.
Steelers calling their first time out.
Steelers.
They'll have 2 left to work with before halftime.
Okay, when you watch the combine, you'll watch guys try to make this throw. Without chemistry, it's so hard to execute. That was picture perfect. That's a QB and receiver on the same page because that route, that deep out to the field, that takes just a different level of connectedness.
Going on 1st down, Rodgers. Catch made by Austin. He's going to be taken down at the 8-yard line. Pittsburgh will go ahead and use its 2nd timeout. And they still have one in their pocket for what's left of this half. This offense in position now. It's 1st and goal. Looking inside the red zone. Caught just shy of the goal line. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
To Alvin Austin.
The Steelers
Touchdown,
parlay the
Pittsburgh.
interception into points. Great opportunity to find a touchdown there, Brock, and they come through with 6.
Receivers want the ball everywhere on the football field. But you start smelling the end zone, they really want their chance. And they will tell you as a quarterback, just give me an opportunity and I'll make a play. And he sure did.
Chris
Boswell to add the
on for
PAT.
the point after.
Extra point set right down the middle. And the Steelers make it 17 all.
17.
We've got a tie ball game now as they send this away. Gibson now to return. Escapes a defender. Third team gets him down to the 26-yard line.
The Jets take over
Jets
first
get
and
one
10.
final go at it on offense here before
26-yard
halftime.
line.
Not a whole lot of time left for him to put something together here before the break. Just 25 seconds remaining as they get all set up for first down. Trying to shake off the interception. He's looking to throw. And he's tackled for a first gain.
May not look like much on the stat sheet. This is kind of good on
Brings
good.
up second
The offense
and
gets
9
completion, not
at
going
the
backwards.
27-yard
And the
line.
defense, well, they rallied, they pursued, and kept that screen to a minimal gain.
So we're all knotted up here at the half, Bronc, as we send this over to our buddy Scott Hansen, who's got our halftime report. Scott?
Okay, Kate, thanks very much. Scott Hansen back with you in the studios in Orlando. We've got a close one as we expected. No quarter given on either side. We are all tied up at the break. This one could go either way, so let's find out as they're ready for the third quarter kickoff. Send it back out to the stadium and our commentary team, Kate Scott and Brock Heward.
As always, a hat tip to our buddy Scott Hansen for his hard work there during the break. As we're happy to welcome you all back for the start of our third quarter. All tied as we kick it away here in quarter number 3. On the return, it's Jalen Warren. And that's going to set them up just beyond their own 20.
The Steelers take over
The
first and
Steelers
10
and Aaron Rodgers
at
headed
their
back
own
out on offense.
22-yard line.
And on that last drive, Brock, he crossed a notable threshold in passing yards for the season. Always nice when you can reach one of those plateaus to look back on after the year's over. All right, Steelers to the line now. First and 10. Starts the drive with Warren. Nearly starts the drive with the first down run. Stopped a yard short, gain of 9.
The tackle by Brandon
It's just a
Seating.
great drive start.
It's a
What
gain of
free
9.
offense wants.
Brings up
Gives you a little bit of
second
energy, a
and
little
2.
juice. Now
At
they
the
really
31-yard
will set
line.
it down.
Less than a ruler needed here on second down. Warren once more. And this one's brought to a halt at about the 36-yard line. 5-yard gain on the play. And that's a Steelers first down.
5-yard gain on the play.
That's certainly a spot where you could be more aggressive, Kate, if you want to take your shots. Some coaches, even the bolder ones, will take the safe play first when they get it from time to time. No third down required now.
First down, Rodgers. Anticipated a quick staccato pass there. It's knocked away. Incomplete. Great defensive effort to reject that one. So it's second down coming up.
I'll tell you what, Kate, challenging this guy in a close game, you are tempting fate. You got one hand on it. He gets two, it could have gone the other way.
To throw again on second down, Rodgers. Finds him over the middle. And they're going to bring him down just on the other side of midfield. It's a pickup of 14 yards as the chains reset.
And the
It
Steelers
sure seems
first
like he
down.
knew exactly where he was going with that before the snap. That's a pre-snap decision that led to a post-snap first down.
Up to the line, and they're set. First and 10. Finding inside the 84. And he drives that front backward on a gain of 4.
Ball carrier.
Well, I'll steal a line from one of my buddies. I'm going to quote him. Mark Schler, two-time Super Bowl winner, says if you want to run the ball, you got to keep running the ball. And that's a perfect example of it. Don't get tired. Don't get mad at gaining 4 yards. It's a run that can set up even more in the run game.
Second and 6 now. Escapes the pocket. He tucks it and takes off. It's a gain of 11 there. That picks up the first.
You know, these are the type of plays that really get an offense going. This is a chance for QB to inspire the guys around him. Calling his own number, carrying his teammates to a first down on that big run. That inflates an offense, and it can suck the wind out of that defense.
On first down. He's got about 9 on that run. Down inside the 30.
So much to like about that run, particularly when he's able to get out. The defense, I think, feels a little fortunate they were able to track him down before an even bigger run, crossing that first down marker.
Thought for a second he might have had the first, but still a little bit of work to do here on second down. That's Metcalf running the slant. And he works this to the 15 before they make the stop. Give him 8 yards on the play. And he'll bring up a Pittsburgh first down.
Good luck defending that short yardage slant. Just not going to happen. There's a reason this is a go-to play for just about any quarterback in every situation.
First down throw by Rodgers. He's just going to get rid of this one. Smart move there. He's on the field. It's going to be second down.
This is a situation where he got the time in the pocket he needed. There just wasn't anyone open to throw it to. It got to the point he had two choices as that clock is going off in his head. Force a throw and risk a pick, or just get rid of it and cut your losses on the play.
On second down, Ward.
So no swinging a big play on that one. It's just going to simply be used as a setup play. Whether that's another run, or eventually what I love, setting up a play-action pass off that counter action.
Drive in dire straits. It's third and 9. Rodgers here from the gun. And he's going to score. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. The Steelers take the lead right away in half number 2. Roman Wilson, the touchdown.
That's some good old-fashioned playground football. Even at the elementary school, find the fastest kid and let him run.
Chris Boswell.
Boswell
on
to add
for
the
the point
PAT.
after.
Right down the
The
middle.
kick
It's
is
good.
good.
And the Steelers
Makes the
break
score
that tie and now
Steelers
lead by
24,
7.
Jets 17.
All right, thanks so much, Scott. We are back and about set to begin our second half. Now Boswell on to send this away. Gibson now to return. And in the end, he's able to get it to about the 25-yard line before he's hauled down.
At their own
The Jets out to
21-yard line.
begin another drive. Starting in the pistol this time, Brock. 1st and 10. The pistol snap. Fields. Complete out to the right side. They'll stand him up and sit him down at the line.
Well, if they were concerned about losing yards, running it on 1st down, it just happened anyway. Not many passes ended the loss. Hopefully they got a little more aggressive strategy coming here on 2nd down.
Offense to the line for 2nd down. Out of the shotgun, Fields. Pressure's there, and the steal closes on it. And that pushes them back. 3rd down coming up.
That is some serious defensive urgency that really does, Kate, match the situation we're in. This is a one-score game. Even though they have gotten after this quarterback all game long, they know they can't let up now.
The Steelers go to a dime set. Must be thinking pass on this 3rd down. Couple additional DBs brought in. Fields out of the gun. This is Lazard working the right side. And they're going to bring him down just beyond the 30 at the 31.
You can earn your money in the NFL in all sorts of different ways, but defensively, in a league where you're just not hitting as much in training camp, you're not tackling as much as they got to in the old days, when you can make a play in the open field, hitting short like that, I promise you some money will follow.
The Steelers, wide receiver DK Metcalf set for another drive. And he finds himself across an important benchmark for yards this season after that last drive. He stayed pretty busy this season, and the numbers show just that. All right, working from the gun to start. 1st and 10. Play fake, it's Rodgers. And he's going to set them up with a 1st down on a huge game.
Number 10, Roman Wilson. It's a gain of 23 yards. And the Steeler 1st down.
They like to say it's about the Jimmies and the Joes. I think that's about the X's and the O's. That's a well-drawn-up completion that nets them a 1st down.
Only one play in, Brock, and this drive already to midfield. Warren running between the tackles. And this will be stopped after a 6-yard pickup there on 1st down.
That does not show up on any explosive stat sheet, but let me tell you, Kate, that's the real deal right there. You run for that kind of yardage consistently in the NFL, you do set yourself up for success.
Last run got him 7. Here comes 2nd and 3. We had it for a moment, but a quick defensive play. Jarrett loses incomplete. DK Metcalf, the intended receiver. But still plenty of options left on 3rd and short. Got the one-on-one they wanted, Brock, on that slant, but just not enough to get the completion.
Yeah, you got to create separation. We all love the slant route. It can be super effective, but you got to beat press. You got to beat jam. You got to beat off man. And you got to create separation so there's not that bang-bang impact to make the ball loose like that. We see this all the time. The number one thing you see NFL defenses do to try to force that 4th down, it's down coverage. Put your cover guys on the field. Let the boys up front cut it loose with pressure, and let the cover guys go shut it down.
The Steelers set to punt it. Corliss Wakeman will kick it away.
The Jets take over 1st and 10. And they're on 20-yard line.
First call here coming from the shotgun. Off play action, it's Fields. That one is incomplete.
not sure if he was hearing footsteps or he just had a surprise break in concentration. It's so unusual at this level to see a drop pass unless there's a hit involved.
No dice on that prior pass. Here's second down. Coming right is Hall. Let's go in at the 35. And he's finally taken down at the 39-yard line. Maybe it's 40 yards, a big hitter. And it's good enough for him to do a first down.
Okay, that's the type of runner shines bright. Well, on him as a runner, of course, you got to give a lot of credit to everybody else. Those skill guys, when you have an outside run, they got to do their job. Not just the big boys up front, not just the running backs. That takes everyone in the perimeter blocking to get a big run like that.
Toward the sideline, and he's got it. It's a gain of 17 on that one. And it'll give the Jets a first down.
Dude, I can't tell you how good that is. Anticipating the outcut, having the ball on the way before the receiver's head even turns, he puts it on him so that receiver can easily get out of bounds for the nice gain.
First and 10. Here's Fields. Now here he goes. That's a gain of 13. That sets him up for first and goal.
13 yards on the play. That's good for another Jets.
As much as you like to find the completion and get the ball out of your hands, when a play breaks down, you got to be able to make a play with your legs. His offense counts on his ability to evade pressure and occasionally make plays just like that.
First down from the red zone. And this one's stopped at the 3-yard line.
Well, this isn't every quarterback's tool, though. Even the ones not regarded as the best movers and shakers. But Kate, like QB in the league today, you've got to be able to do this. If you've got nobody open, still get some positive yards with your legs.
So from the 3, here's second and goal. Shotgun snap to Fields. And he scores. It's a New York touchdown. The Jets will tie it up after hitting the leader in the third. So they pumped it in for 6, Bronk, and now a conversion away from tying this game back up.
This one just has the feel, doesn't it? The makings of a one-score game in the fourth quarter that could go either way.
Folk on now to try
for
the point
extra
after.
point.
The point after splits the upright. And the Jets bring it back to even. As always, a hat tip to our buddy Scott Hansen for his hard work there during the break. As we're happy to welcome you all back for the start of our third quarter. Now after tying this game up, they're all set to send her away. On return, here's Gainwell. He's brought to the inside of the 20 on an uneventful effort.
Take over first
The
and 10.
Steelers and Jalen Warren heads back out there offensively. And it's an important drive to get momentum back after that touchdown tied things up. Pittsburgh offense to the line. Here's first and 10. To throw, Rodgers. Pass brought in. And he's going to be driven out with a nice pickup. Gain about 8, second down.
That is a test for the first down completion. Sets up second and very manageable.
Brings up second
Creates space to take that shot downfield.
After a good pickup, they're set up with second and short. They send a tight end in motion. Hand it off to Warren. And he'll give them another first down.
When you see a picture in the football dictionary of staying on schedule,
First down,
that was the
Steelers.
First and 10 now from the 30. They'll go again with Warren. Robbed by the first guy he met. No gain on that first down run.
Jamie and Sherwood.
Talked to a bunch of different GMs, Kate, especially around draft time, and they all say the same thing. Linebackers are so hard to find. It's hard to transition from the college game that's in so much space to this game where you've got to play in a phone booth yet have that explosiveness to chase a play on the outside down like that linebacker just did.
Has him on the McKinney. And he'll be down near the 38-yard line before going down.
No kid, over the years, I've heard defensive coordinators say, hey, you got to earn the right to rush a pass. You got to earn the right for me to call blitzes. And when you call a blitz and you don't get home and you don't hit the quarterback, you've earned nothing.
5 DBs out there for the Jets. Third down. Working out of the gun. It's Rodgers. By one on the backfield. And he's able to move past the 45 before going out. He manages a gain of 8 there. That's the Steelers' first down.
Hey, Kate, they don't rightly care who it's going to go to in that situation. All they really care about are the results on third down. And that's exactly the result they needed. Enough to keep this drive moving.
70 yards there. That brings up second down.
That's a case where defensively you've got to keep your eyes in the backfield and be ready if they go to that drop play. Even an extra second to react, it gives them room for a gain just like that.
After that little 8-yard scoot, here comes 2nd and 2. From the shotgun, Rodgers. Defender runs right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. Just couldn't hang on through the contact. And now it's 3rd and short. So he found the route he wanted pretty quickly, Brock, but maybe, I don't know, he telegraphed who he wanted a little too much because that defender sure got there just as the ball arrived to force it loose.
Yeah, this is one of those tough moments as an analyst, right? Because you're right, offensively didn't get the job done, but I'm going to give a gold star to the defense. Anytime you make contact and you disrupt that pass, it's a job well done defensively.
A gain of 16 yards. And a Steeler first down.
A touchdown aside in that frame as we run out of time in the 3rd quarter. It's been a high-scoring game so far, but we're still tied 24-all to begin the final frame. They have themselves another 1st and 10. Now here's Rodgers. He'll dump this one off to his running back, complete. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs.
First and goal at the 1-yard line.
Year after year, the best offenses are multifaceted. It's not just the receivers or the tight ends that can make plays through the air. When you get running backs that can attack the middle of the field like that, man, is it difficult on the defense.
The Steelers take a 4th quarter lead. Well, we all knew what was coming when they got into that goal line formation, didn't we, Brock? And they just pound the rock in for an old-school touchdown.
I just sometimes love that stuff. Nothing fancy, nothing cute. Here's our formation. You know we're running right at you, and we challenge you to stop us, and you can't.
Chris
Boswell to add the PAT.
for the point after.
Extra point set right down the middle. And the Steelers break that tie and now lead by 7.
Jets 24.
Gibson now to return. He's going to make this to the 28 before going down.
Gibson on the
New
return.
York taking over once again. The
Jets take
offense
over
heading out.
first and 10.
Still time to go,
At
Brock,
their
but
own
that touchdown
28-yard
has them
line.
down now 7. They've got to find the end zone here. Jets getting ready for this 1st and 10. Play action now. It's Fields.
Justin Fields.
Someone on the Jets got to it first, so the Jets hold on.
I think you know the only thing redeeming about that play, Kate.
They got the ball back.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, they got the ball back, but a whole lot longer down the distance.
Still their football, but need to make some progress here. This is 2nd and long. Field throwing here. He takes it himself. That one lands him 43 yards. Two second downs, too.
It's a gain of 33. That's good for a Jets. First down.
Yeah, I don't ever
First and
want to
10
be a
at the
defensive
49-yard
coordinator.
line.
They do so many things right to take away the pass, and then what happens? When you get a quarterback that lowers his head, gashes the defense with one of the biggest runs of the game. You take away the pass, but you can't stop the QB run.
Clean it over the middle. And he's going to be drugged down. Looks like at the 37-yard line. Big gain, 14 on the play. And it's good enough for a New York first down.
First down.
Dude, I can
First and
promise you
10
that's
at
one of
the
those play-action
37-yard
plays they've
line.
repped over the week during practice. The both quarterback and tight end went to bed last night thinking, man, I hope this one's called. And when it is, hope we have just a little space to operate. That play-action works beautifully, and the tight end, the beneficiary.
I think the handoff. Now Fields. Go right side. Caught by Wilson.
Fields.
He will wind up out of bounds after a first down gain of right around 3 yards.
Out of bounds at the
That's a
33-yard
pretty similar
line.
result to a
It's a
first
pickup
down
of
run play.
3.
Moves it
Brings
forward,
up second
keeps you
and
on schedule,
7.
and makes 2nd and 3rd down a whole lot easier to manage.
2nd down now, 7 to go. Now it's Fields. Same guy, Wilson again. And they bring him down after the play reaches the 26. That's good for 7 yards.
7-yard
And
gain.
it'll give the Jets a first down.
That's good for another Jets.
Gotta move them chains. More momentum.
First and 10 at the 26-yard line.
The drive picks up here, 1st and 10. The option, he's going to keep it going right. That work, turning those legs, dragged it across the 15. He's all the way down the 10-yard line.
It's a
Give him
gain
about
of
16 yards on that gain, Brock, and it sets
That's
him up
good
with 1st and
for a
goal.
Jets.
Fields has been so close to breaking this record before. He set a regular season record in 2022, but was just a few yards shy of that overall record held by Colin Kaepernick. Well, now, one of the game's best runners has officially claimed that record as his own. First down throw for Fields. And he will score. Touchdown! The Jets now trail by 2 points in the fourth. Exactly the play they were looking for, Brock. They saw it, and he put it right on the money.
Yeah, it really was a perfect play. This is what it looked like in practice, but more importantly now to get it done in game time, that's what you're looking for. Amazing when it all comes together.
So a
Nick
chance to
Foles
tie it
for
up
the
again
extra
here in the
point.
fourth. The kick is good, so this game now hinging on every possession as we're tied up in the fourth.
31.
we've got a tie ball game now. They send this away. On the return, here's Gainwell. He stopped on the run back at the 27.
The Steelers take
The
over
Steelers
first
and Aaron
10
Rodgers headed back out on offense.
47-yard line.
And he has continued to own this defense and keep on throwing that football, partner, making this performance one that he's going to remember. But as you like to say, the defense will probably rather forget. All right, going empty as they come to the line. It's 1st and 10. Blitz coming for Rodgers. Left side, caught by Metcalf. And he's going to be brought down at the 42. He picks up 15 on the play.
A gain of
And he'll bring up a Pittsburgh first down.
First down, Steelers.
From a great throw to a nice route catch to moving the chains, there wasn't a whole lot not to like about that amazing play.
They'll head up 1st and 10 from the 42. Rodgers here from the gun. Finds him over the middle.
Rodgers
And he'll get it up to the
complete
44.
to Calvin
That's a modest little drag route.
Two
If you
yards
ever
on
just
the
need a
pickup.
safe, short gain on the throw, it's a go-to route to target.
44-yard line.
8 yards to go. Let's see how they approach this 2nd down. Throwing from the gun. Makes the open pass outside. He finds him 16 yards and a new set of downs.
Every tight end with the salt wanted this.
First down,
Really crazy
Pittsburgh.
man-to-man coverage. The best of them, give me man-to-man coverage, and I'm going to beat you. I was around Dallas Clark and Indy, one of the best. You play man-to-man, he's going to find a way to out-leverage you, separate from you, and make a play just as that tight end is.
He lost the football. And the Jets recover. Archer doesn't get much, but he does get it across the midfield stripe.
We talk about these wide receivers all the time and their incredible body control, but I'll say this, these pass rushers in this day and age, the body control they have to get home on these sacks, but more importantly, to create these strip sacks is so hard to do, and that is a master's class in how to take the ball away. Well done.
Now here comes the New York offense. And I think they'd be content doing everything the same as their prior drive and getting another touchdown here. First and 10, ball set up at the 48. The pistol snap, Fields. Looking right, and he finds it. This drive's quickly heading in the wrong direction. First play set down behind the line.
A loss of 2.
Well, there was never a play in any playbook I ever saw designed for a lost yardage play when you throw the ball. But if there's any solace, at least it was first down. A couple more chances to make up for it.
All right, here we go. 2nd down. Fields out of the gun. Down the field. He's got Wilson. And he'll be brought down here at the 23-yard line. That's going to pick up the first down after a gain of 26.
And the Jets. First down. First
Hey, let's
and
get
10
those
at
next
the
gen stats
23-yard
out here,
line.
Kate. See just how far he had to run between the snap of the football and when he finally got the throw. Did a beautiful job of settling down into zone coverage, even though it took him a whole lot of distance to get there.
They'll go right side of the ball. And he can only manage 1 yard. He's left the way to bring him down.
He was taken down
That's why
at
you
the
gotta be
22-yard
careful to just
line.
run it always on first down. You gotta break your
Brings
tendencies.
up
The casual
2nd
fan,
and 9.
well, the casual fan knew what was coming, but more importantly, this defensive front did too.
They'll come to the line here, 2nd and 9. Here's the ball once more. Power through. Just to get back to the line in time.
One defender failed. His buddy was there to swarm to the ball.
It's now
Make
3rd
that
and
play
8.
just as it gets to the line of scrimmage.
A less than ideal 3rd and 8 here. shotgun. Fields escapes the pocket.
Justin
And they
Fields.
make the stop as that play reaches the 14-yard line.
Tackled by Alex
Oh, man, those
Highsmith.
defensive players
A gain of 7 yards.
It's near impossible to keep them the edge game or corral them behind the line there. Give aids long enough to turn a potential loss into positive yardage.
A lot of pressure on this kick for Nick Folk. He connected once, and a good chance here. This is inside of 35. Tracking for it, and it's good! And they take the lead in the fourth quarter.
Jets, 34.
The field goal gives you the lead for the moment, Kate, but you don't feel comfortable when you look up at that scoreboard. This one is over, and that lead certainly isn't safe.
It's all lined up. Folk ready to send this one flying. Warren with the return here. He's brought down just inside the
The
25.
Steelers take over
The
first and
Steelers
10.
and Jalen Warren heading back out there
26-yard line.
offensively. They get that big old marker out, cross a major number off his roadmap after that last drive. He's reached one of the marks that every back strives to hit at some point during the season. All right, Steelers to the line now. First and 10. Aggressiveness from this defense.
These stops, they don't always make the end-of-game highlight reels, but they absolutely should. The coaches and players know it. Offenses are always counting on yards on that type of run. And anytime it results in a loss, it could be a potential drive killer.
Everyone's prepped. It's second down now. Now Rodgers. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play. Just loose incomplete. Ball and defender arrived at the exact same time there. And that's going to leave him with a tough third and long. This is a guy who's used to embracing contact, Brock. Usually makes catches in spite of it, but I guess it's tough for anybody to make a play every time.
Yeah, I think these tight ends today, Kate, spend as much time in the old ice bath as just about anybody. And when you don't make that catch and you take the contact, it stings like the first seconds on the ice.
He's going to be brought down at the 42. The
It's a
big
gain
play
of
nets him
17
17 yards.
And the
And that's the Steelers' first down.
You know, they call that the money down for a reason, because you're just simply not going to last long in the NFL if you don't convert a good portion of your third downs. It's a money down. And nice to see them roll the dice and continue the series.
It's here to Warren. Even 4 yards before he stops. Brown gets second down.
The tackle made at the getting 7-yard line.
But on most run plays, it's a sign. We're getting some good push up front, and this running back is seeing the lanes and paying them off.
First down run, nabs him 5. Now second and 5. From the 47. Wilson on the slate. And he's brought down right in the neighborhood of that 4-yard line. They get 13 on the pickup. And he'll bring up a Pittsburgh first down.
First down, Steelers.
Boy, they sure found the right route at the right time to hit the soft spot in that coverage. And that slant, it goes for big yardage.
First down, Rodgers. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a first down.
Play. First down, Pittsburgh.
I think my favorite part was the magic he worked after yardage.
First down throw by Rodgers. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. Another try for them from the 11. Here's 2nd and 10. Back to throw. And they will score. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. The Steelers jump in front late.
Pittsburgh.
So what a finish this is shaping up to be. The late touchdown here, Brock, moves them in front.
And week to week, what a pleasure it is for us to call these games. We never know what
Yeah.
kind of game we're going to get. This one's been everything you could have wanted. And now, even though they've taken the lead, there's still enough time on that other sideline for them to go mount a response.
A
Chris
chance to take their lead
Boswell
beyond
for the
a
point
field
after.
goal on this point after. And it's good, so they take the lead, and the extra point buys them some breathing room. A field goal does not tie it now.
34. Chris Boswell,
Now
the
Boswell
kickoff
on to
for
send this
Pittsburgh.
away. Wangu now to return. And in the end, he's able to get it to what used to be a touchdown. It's at the 25-yard line. Jets have their offense ready to go again. They find themselves down here in the 4th after that touchdown. This game could end up depending on how they respond right here. Offense into the shotgun set as they line this up. 1st and 10. They'll start this one out with Hall. And here's 3 yards on the toe to bring up 2nd down.
Carrier. Jalen Ramsey brought him down. A gain of 3 brings up 2nd down at the 29-yard line.
Here he is to throw. That's another quick hitter. He'll get it up to the 44. The Jets take their first time out. And they can take a moment to try to build more momentum after getting the first.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
On the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. Setting up to pass. Bring it to his running back. He gets it past the 50 and down the Steelers side of the field.
To Brees Hall.
Timeout taken by New York. That's it, 2nd.
Brings up
They'll
2nd
need to
down
decide what to do on
at
this
the
2nd down.
48-yard line.
These intermediate gains, that's the wheelhouse for these two to connect on. Start the series off well. Sure keeps the defense on its toes in case they try to load up, and just simply cover the receivers.
Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. They look to throw it. Couldn't bring it in over the middle. Incomplete.
Intended for
On the same page with his tight end. And that leaves him with 3rd and short.
coverage by Joey
Well, he already has
Porter.
himself one interception in this game, partner, and throws like that are going to find him another if he isn't careful.
Yep, those are the throws you want to intersperse and sprinkle into your passing game. Because if they become the norm and you're constantly thrown into coverage, that's when your 1 pick becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, and
Fields pass.
He will not get them to that marker.
Lazard.
Heck, all he can do is get back to the
Steps out
line.
of bounds
4th down.
right at the line of scrimmage.
those kind of completions are so frustrating, Kate. It's like a putt. You got it online, you feel good about it's going in the hole, but you never want to leave it short.
They are sent off the field. He had to go for it. Defense knew it was coming. Let's turn over on down.
Result of the
Aggressive
play.
offense is going to blitz on fourth down's a gutsy call, but it can work against the pass, or in that case, against the run. Good luck running for the sticks when you've got a whole defense crashing the line of scrimmage off the snap.
Into the victory formation they go, Brock, here on first down. Your favorite formation, right, Brock? The victory formation here as he takes a knee.
They could stop the clock now if they choose. In the final moments of the game, every second counts. If you're going to call a timeout, you want to be right next to that official to signal it in just as that knee goes down.
So the Steelers come in and take this on the road. This is the type of game everyone was hoping they'd see when they entered this stadium, Brock, you and I included. A close one that went all the way down to the final whistle.
Okay, this is one of the bigger adjustments a college player has to make to the NFL. In college, you get a lot of blowouts. The NFL, every game you get calloused because you know more often than not, they'll be like this, a one-possession game that's not about how you start, it's all about how you finish.